You've probably seen it. A company that sounds polished and confident on their website, but then you hit their social feed or their blog and suddenly it feels like you're hearing from a completely different brand. That disconnect, that's the fastest way to confuse your audience and lose their trust. And here's the thing most people miss. It doesn't happen because of a bad content strategy. It happens because their brand and editorial guidelines aren't working. So in this video, I'm going to break down why most guidelines fall short and how to build ones that actually help your team deliver content that's consistent, clear, and on brand every single time. And if you've ever run into content mess like this where nothing sounds cohesive, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your worst examples of a brand voice clash. Here's the core problem. As your content operation grows, staying consistent gets harder. When it's just one person writing everything, you can keep things aligned. But when you've got multiple writers, designers, freelancers, or agency partners contributing, that's when different voices, different interpretations, and different opinions start to seep in. And when your content sounds fragmented, people notice. They might not be able to name exactly what's off, but it creates doubt and it makes your brand feel messy. And that doubt is the last thing you want standing between your audience and what you're offering. So what do strong brand and editorial guidelines actually look like? First, they make your audience crystal clear. Who are you talking to? What do they need? What do they care about? Second, they define your brand voice in a way people can actually use. If your brand could talk, what would it sound like? Not just vague adjectives, give people real guidance they can follow. Third, they give direction on tone, how that voice flexes across channels. Maybe you're approachable on social, authoritative in thought leadership. Good guidelines map that out. Fourth, they lock in your standards, from grammar, style, SEO, accessibility, the things that let people create confidently without reinventing the wheel. Fifth, they show examples because nobody wants to decode a style guide written like a legal document. The best guidelines show what on-brand actually looks like. Let me give you a simple test for your current guidelines, or for the ones you're about to create. Ask yourself, could a freelancer who's never worked with us before read these and deliver content that sounds on brand? Could someone on our team hand this guide to a new hire and feel confident that they'll hit the right tone? Are there real examples, not just descriptions, that show what great content looks like? If you can't say yes to all of those, there's room to tighten things up. And here's the part that most companies miss. Guidelines only work if they're part of your process. That means your team can actually find them and they use them. It means they're part of the onboarding for anyone creating content for you. It means they get checked before anything goes live. It means you revisit them, refine them, and keep them alive as your brand evolves. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Your content is only as consistent as the guidance you give your team to work with. If you want to build guidelines that don't just sit in a folder, but actually help your team create consistent, high-quality content, check out the link in the description. We've put together our brand and editorial guidelines builder. It's the same bulletproof process we use to help brands create clear, actionable, easy-to-use guidelines that work in the real world. And don't forget to tell me in the comments, what's the most off-brand piece of content you've seen a company publish? I bet we can build a great list together.